Welcome, everyone, to the DUB Success Series, where we cultivate your belief system for success. I am your host, Y. Nelson Thomas, and I want to know, do you believe? Do you?
Do you believe? I want to know. Do you believe? 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 I want to know. Do ya?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of the Do You Believe Success Series, hosted by me, your host, Y. Nelson Thomas, your lifestyle strategy partner, also known by some as Y. Drake the Motivator, Mr. Do You Believe himself, and it is a pleasure and an honor to have you tune in with us today. As you know, I am doing the 100-day podcast challenge where I will be uploading a new episode every single day for 100 days. I do think today is day number 10, if I'm not mistaken, day number 10. Also incorporated into that, I am also doing the 100-day intimacy challenge to maintain and establish that intimacy within a relationship with my wife. And this is something that even if you're not in a relationship, it's something that you can still do, because you may want to love on yourself and have more self-love, because I've noticed that there seems to be a lot of people out there who don't really focus on building that self-love, and self-love is so important. You will not accomplish anything in this life if you don't love yourself. You can't expect someone else to love you if you don't love you. So even if you are not in a relationship, the 100-day love challenge intimacy challenge is something that I think is great for anyone. You can get intimate and love on you. But all right, real quick, yesterday we were talking about love is not jealous. Today is day number 9 of the 40-day love dare, which I am using as a guide on my 100-day intimacy challenge. Day number 9 said, love makes good impressions. Think of a specific way you like to greet your spouse today. Do it with a smile and enthusiasm. Then determine to change your greeting to reflect your love for them. So you want to greet them in a new enthusiastic way. If you are the type of person that doesn't kiss your spouse when you see them, then they could be just as simple as that, going up and kissing them. Or if you do kiss them, then it may be giving them an extra kiss, kiss them on the cheek and then kiss them on the lip. Or it could be grabbing both of their hands, whatever that may look like for you. I don't know what your individual circumstance may be, or how you greet your spouse, or how you view yourself, but find a unique way to show a little bit more enthusiasm, either for your spouse, your loved one, or for yourself. All right, now on this particular episode, I'm going to be using the John Maxwell. It's what I call the Leadership Bible. It's the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell, and having the opportunity to be mentored by some of the people from John Maxwell's team. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Maxwell himself as of yet, but that is something that I certainly will do soon. I wanted to use just looking at some of the leadership that's going on in the world, and I'm not being specific or calling out anyone in particular, calling out any names, but when you just look at some of the world leadership that we see and some of the examples that are being set by our leaders, I realized that I had two choices. I could either complain about it, or I could figure out what I can do to be a better influence and help other people cultivate their leadership skills, so that way we can ensure if the leadership that we see is not where we think it should be, then we shouldn't just sit back and complain about it. We should do something about it. So what I want to do is I want to share with you the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership and use this as a guide, so hopefully you can cultivate your leadership skills. Also, I'm going to be revisiting cultivating my own leadership skills, so that way I'm not stuck in a position where I am just complaining about the leadership that I don't like. I am actually seeing what I can do to improve the leadership skills of not only myself, but also anyone that I may be around and anyone that I may influence. Now, law number 1 of the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, also known as the Leadership Bible by many organizations and many institutions. This book really has been a blueprint for me establishing and reestablishing myself as a leader in my household, my family, my community, and in my profession. Law number 1 is the law of the lid. And basically the lid is the lid is just, it equates to your skills. Where are your leadership skills at? Now, and it states pretty plainly that how well you lead determines how successful you are. Let me repeat that again. How well you lead determines how successful you are. And it is pretty simple that if your leadership scale is 1 to 10 and your leadership lid is set at 5, there's no way that your business could be a 10. As a matter of fact, your business is probably going to be at a 4, and you are truly not maximizing your potential as a leader. So to increase your personal success, that requires you to raise your leadership lid. The lid contains success. It's almost like a glass ceiling. If your glass ceiling as a 4, you may be able to look up and you may even be able to see 10. But as long as that lid or that glass ceiling is there, you're not going to be able to elevate yourself to it. Now, and this is one thing that I absolutely love about cultivating yourself as a leader or becoming a better leader or exhibiting better leadership skills is leadership can be learned. So it's not some people are born leaders. I hear people say that all the time. Some a born leader. Yeah, if you are born, yes, you are a leader. The question is, what type of leader are you? So if you want to be a better leader and you want to increase your leadership lid, then just be happy knowing the fact that leadership can be learned and leaders can be made. Now, if you want to raise your leadership lid, you do this by working on your leadership skills. You do more to have more, to be more. Keep in mind that you don't have to go from 0 to 100 overnight. Just focus on increasing your leadership skills by 1%. And remember to help a heart before you ask for a hand. So if you truly want to be a leader, John Maxwell states that leadership in its purest form is just influence. So if you truly want to be a leader, do that by helping someone else. Help a heart before you ask for a hand. So go out and see how you can be a positive impact on someone in the community. What can you do to raise your leadership lid so that your success is not limited by how well you lead? Increase it by 1%. One of my friends and fellow colleagues, he's from Alaska, and I remember him telling me about his father, who was a fisherman, and he was saying that 1 degree, when you're way out fishing in the middle of the Pacific Ocean and you're miles and miles away from the east coast of the United States or Canada, a 1% difference is the difference between you ending up in San Francisco or you ending up in Alaska. Just that 1% difference. So don't think that the small changes don't have impact, because they do. Think about the smallness of a spark plug. Think about how complicated a motor is. But if you do something as simple as take the spark plug out, guess what? Your car's not going to start. That's not even the whole motor. That's just one itty bitty small component of that motor. So I want you to keep in mind that you don't have to completely tear down what you have built as a leader, but what you can do if you want to raise your leadership lid, just focus on increasing your influence by 1% and elevate your leadership lid. So once again, we're talking about the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. Number 1 is the law of the lid. How well you lead determines how successful you are. So I want to ask you right now, and this is just, hypothetical, because I know you can't really respond back, but I want to know, where is your leadership lid? Where would you consider your leadership skills on a scale of 1 to 10? And let me be clear about something. Leadership is not positional. Let me say that again. Leadership is not positional. It's not based upon a role. It's not based upon a promotion that you have. It's not based upon your title in your job. Your ability to lead does not have anything to do with the position that you're in. So even if you're on a job and you're in a entry-level position, you still have the ability to have a huge impact by increasing your ability to lead. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. The law of the lid. We want to increase those skills. We also want to focus on day 9. Love makes good impressions, and do something nice and sweet for your spouse or for yourself or whoever it may be that you may be engaged with. Just keep into consideration that love makes good impressions, and greet one another with a kiss of love. All right, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Checking in from the Do You Believe Success series. It is an absolute pleasure and an honor to have anyone who stayed on and listened to this far into the podcast. I appreciate you truly, and I want you to not complain about whatever it is that you see, because truthfully, there's some leadership that I see right now that I am not completely on board with. I think that it could be better, and opposed to coming out and just criticizing it, I'm going to focus on how I can become a better leader and how I can also encourage others to do the exact same thing. So let's focus on this together and do everything that we can to make our world a much better place. So thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, whoever you are, for tuning in, and just know that I love you. God bless you, and I will see you right back here in less than 24 hours as we continue the 100-day podcast challenge. All right, that is it. I got one question. Do you believe? Do you? Do you believe? All right.
Do you believe? I want to know. Do you?